Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Zafira binti Muhammad Zaman, and today I will explain about the risk factor of family violence against children during COVID-19. So the first factor that lead to the children or child abuse during this pandemic is because the children have rebellious behavior and it limit the testings of their parents. So the rebellious action usually happen to the children that need special education, in which during COVID-19 it will affect their daily routine, such as they cannot go to schools or they cannot do any activity outside the house. So this will make them feel angry and dissatisfaction, and in order to show the dissatisfaction they use the rebellious action. The other children also feel the same when they also feel stressed and they are still confused about their surrounding, and it will create more tension to their parents to entertain their children, and at the same time the parents also feel pressure about their work at home, and it will lead to the harsh response for the parent, and it is the starting point for the child abuse happen in the family. The next factor that lead to the child abuse because of social isolation during pandemic COVID-19. So during this pandemic COVID-19, all of us need to do social isolation, whereby we are unable to socialize with others. So the bad or negative sides of the social isolation is when everyone at home, it is difficult for the outsider to notice if there is any abuse cases that happen in their neighborhood area. Besides, when there is a social isolation happen, the parent feel difficult to have variety of idea to interact with the children. It is very important, as somehow the parent also will feel burnt out when they need to carry all the tasks at one time, as they need to take care of the children and they also need to work from home. The support from the family also will be limited, as they don't meet each other as frequent as before. Other than that, this situation is also difficult for the children to interact with other people, as they only stay at home, they cannot see the other family members, or even they didn't meet their teacher, so no one will notice their condition. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nino Amran Najah binti Yahya. As my part, I will more focus on the types of child abuse that happen widely nowadays. For your information, the most prevalent kind of child abuse is neglect, which is followed by physical abuse and sexual abuse. Basically, physical abuse is one of the types of abuse that you may probably thought when you heard about someone getting abused. Physical abuse means any purposeful act that can cause pain or trauma to another person, like when someone purposely lay a hand on you, and because of that action, it causes you the pain, which is it is abusive action and not acceptable at all. Some example of physical abuse like being hit, kicked, or you getting harmed by someone in your life. This kind of abuse not only affect the physical well-being of the child, but also affect their mental health, which is not good. When abuse is happen, even though it only happened only once, still need to report it to the authorities, cause physical abuse does not only to be occur frequently to classify it as physical abuse. The other abuse that we always heard when we talk about the child abuse is sexual abuse. That we can say that one of the forms of child abuse that really awful. According to the definition, sexual abuse can be defined as any sort of unwanted sexual behavior that happen directly from one person to another person. Whatever the excuses that the abuser may give when it involves the minor, it will classify as sexual abuse that has been recognized as violation. The worst scenario is the sexual abuse can begin as early as the first few months of life, and it lasts as long as the abuser is permitted to do so. It turns out that this abuse begins in the most innocent ways, like the abuser giving extra attention to a child, or we can say that the abuser is too involved with the child's life. But this action actually one of the ways of grooming process, whereby the child is groomed for what will they do in the future with the abuser. That's why it is really significant for the child nowadays to identify and know what kind of form of abuse that they might face in their life, to make sure that they're aware about the fact that they are being abused. Thus, they can seek help from the others. I think that's all for my part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Anissa binti Abdurrahim. So I will proceed with the preventive measures in child abuse. Firstly, the family and also the schools plays a very crucial role in educating children about the child abuse. Parents or any caretakers become the first educational institute for children to learn, and they have such a paramount role in children's life as they grow. So they should, the parents should educate children about many kinds of the abusive actions This same goes to the schools, which should share the part of the responsibilities by include a prevention program that related with the child abuse. The program is proven can help in preventing child abuse, such as the children who are at risk for academic problems will be offered services by more than 90% of the schools districts, and the program provided that relevant to smoking, alcohol and drugs, nutrition, body fitness and education about sex are between 72% and 77% of all districts in United States. Secondly, the pediatrician and the hospital management also responsible to prevent the child abuse. So the emergency departments of the hospital should be responsible to detect and manage a case of the child abuse. A cautious and accurate documentation about the injuries of the examination is important, as such every detail things regarding the disclosure of the abuse should be recorded. In other words, the statements, responses, and also the behaviors of parents or caretakers shown towards their children and vice versa should be documented. The examination must be led by the senior pediatrician and also the experienced clinician, as it should be done comprehensively as well as considers any related issues of physical abuse, emotional, and also the sexual abuse.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nurhaliza binti Harun, and I will explain on the reason why child abuse is hardly to be detected. The first reason is most cases are not reported. According to Everson and 9 other researchers said that only up to 13% of child abuse are reported to the Child Protection Authority, which including the 5% of physical child abuse and 8% of sexual child abuse. Moreover, some of reported cases are not officially confirmed, thus it not be put under the child abuse case. The non-disclosure rates are high for the reason that the child abuse happen in private, involving infant. The parents do not want to report it, and the children reluctantly to report it. And Lee, Norman, and Matthew also conclude that the child may be privable or think that the child abuse is normal and feeling shame or guilty to report it to the public authority. The second reason why the child abuse is hardly to be detected is because it does not grab the attention of such agencies. Most of the agencies are under-resourced, thus they are likely to respond to the aggressive child abuse rather than the little or lenient child abuse. Not only that, the cases are always not investigated or investigate but do not lead to official action and consume a lot of time, which usually take 1 year basis. Thus it make it unpopular among the agencies. According to the recent view that collect data between 2011 to 2014, up to 6.1% of children happen to neglect in the previous year, and up to 15.1% happen to have neglection at some point on their life in the United States of America.